Put your picture on my wall. It reminds me that it's not so.
So bringing you an update here on some breaking news around Genesis versus Gemini. So Gemini Earn participants have pretty much lost $900 million due to Genesis going defunct at this point, stopping all withdrawals. So this is the latest in a saga that has gone on for a couple of months now. And previously I did a few videos on this whole situation. I'll leave the playlist just above if you don't know anything about this. It'll bring you up to speed. But just to jump in with this, there's some breaking news here. So background here, Gemini Earn, which is Tyler and Cameron Winkelvoss, those guys behind Gemini, they've started to be sued by creditors. So this was a court filing just the other week. Investors Brendan Peacher and Max J. Hastings filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of themselves and others similarly situated with the US Southern District Court of New York.
It's not looking good, Bev. It's not looking good.
So this means Gemini are being sued by their creditors, but obviously Gemini can't get the funds because they're stuck with Genesis. Genesis is Barry Silbert. So just think of this as the Winklevosses versus Barry Silbert, DCG, and Genesis. So it's pretty clear from what I'm about to show you that this is the two parties moving further away from each other at this point with a very public outbreak here. Gemini co-founder blames DCG's Barry Silbert over the Genesis funds.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
So Cameron Winkelvoss has taken to Twitter here in an open letter to Barry Silbert. So let's roll on through this one and see what we make of it. So Barry, today marks 47 days since Genesis halted withdrawals. This is 340,000 Earn participants and over $900 million of their assets, including school teachers, single mothers, etc. So he says, for the past 6 weeks, we have done everything we can to engage with you in good faith and in a collaborative manner in order to reach a consensual resolution for you to pay back the 900 mil. He goes on, we realize there are startup costs to any restructuring. However, it's becoming clear that you have been engaging in bad faith stall tactics. So for example, on December 2nd, we expressed our belief that getting everyone in a room together as soon as possible would be the most productive path forward towards reaching a resolution. You agreed but stated you'd only do so after a proposal was put on the table. One was put forward on the 17th of December and then revised on the 25th. But still, the Winklevosses, despite this, say that Barry has refused to get in a room with them. In addition, you also refused to agree to a timeline with key milestones, and every time we ask you for tangible engagement, you hide behind lawyers, investment bankers, and process. Cameron states, after 6 weeks, your behavior is not only completely unacceptable, it is unconscionable. He then says that Barry is hiding in his ivory tower and hoping this will all go magically away. To be clear, this mess is entirely down to you and your own making. DCG Group, of which you are the founder and CEO, owes Genesis, i.e. the right hand giving to the left hand, a total of $1.675 billion. This is money that Genesis owes to Earn users and other creditors. You took this money, the money of school teachers, to fuel greedy share buybacks, illiquid venture investments, and kamikaze grayscale NAV trades that ballooned the fee generating AUM of your trust. So some real digs there from Mr. Winklevoss. It is now time for you to take responsibility for this and do the right thing, and it's not lost on us that you started your career as a bankruptcy restructuring associate. And it's not been lost on us that you've been working desperately to try and firewall DCG from the problems that you created at Genesis. You should dispense with this fiction because we all know what you know, that DCG and Genesis are beyond co-mingled. Everyone takes orders from you and always has, and anything that you have done after the fact to pretend otherwise won't hold up. If instead you had put all this energy towards finding a resolution, we would have been done by now and everyone would be in a better place, including you. Final paragraph, Cameron concludes, Earn users are tired, they're scared, many are now in dire straits, and yet despite all this, they have had to endure. They have been remarkably patient and supportive, but there is only so much more they can take. They deserve a resolution for a recovery of the assets they lent to you and an end to this nightmare. To that end, and for the final time, we're asking you to publicly commit to working together to solve this problem by January the 8th, 2023. We remain ready and willing to work with you, but time is running out. So a deadline put in place, sounds like it's going to be a big week for Barry. So this is one of the major shoes left to drop in 2023 here. We know DCG has a ton of assets under management for its trustees, and in recent events they've even put forward some kind of tender offer to maybe start to offload some of those assets to pay back some of their debts. So this is slowly gathering pace here, and Barry now comes back once again. He states that DCG did not borrow $1.675 billion from Genesis. DCG has never missed an interest payment to Genesis and is current on all loans outstanding. Next loan maturity is May of 2023. DCG delivered to Genesis and your advisors a proposal on December 29th and has not received any response. So Barry knocking the ball back into Cameron's court there. Someone tweeted out hilariously that this may be the response that Barry sent in the post on the 29th.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. I sent 2 letters back in autumn. You must not have got them. There probably was a problem at the post office or something.
Then after a wait of about 45 minutes, Cameron Winkelvoss then responds to Barry here. He says, "There you go again. Stop trying to pretend that you and DCG are innocent bystanders and had nothing to do with creating this mess. It's completely disingenuous. So how does DCG owe Genesis $1.675 billion if it didn't borrow the money? Oh right, that promissory note. Will you or will you not commit to solving this by January the 8th in a manner that treats the $1.1 billion promissory note as $1.1 billion? So this was the kind of financial engineering, the creative accountancy that DCG used, utilizing the umbrella of companies here to make loans between them, but not really calling them loans, calling them a promissory note. So we have a very public spat here between some heavy hitters in the crypto space. This has clearly taken a notch up now going into 2023. The legal pressure maybe on Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss has led them to come out publicly here and talk about things very much openly, airing that dirty laundry. Just to remember, obviously, Cameron and Tyler over at Gemini are no innocent party in this either. They actually trusted here $900 million of their customer funds to be lent to Genesis to earn an APR on top of, and of course they would have been skimming off the top of that as well. So no hands without blood in this situation. So a really good follow here is Finance a Lot. This guy actually predicted on December 30th, one of the major crypto exchanges collapses this weekend. Well, this actually came on the 2nd. It is Monday today. The bankruptcy announcement will happen on January the 8th, he says, but it's already over. Can't unfreeze the accounts because of a bank run would follow. This guy as well, AP Abacus, also gets some good insider information. We do not expect DCG or Genesis to meet the January 8th deadline. We expect a protracted legal battle and are prepared for one, a source from the legal and advisory Gemini team. So it sounds like they're expecting this one to go on and on and on and on. Pentoshi replies, when notice of default, January the 9th, the Winklevoss don't F around. So maybe the twins will send this clip out over to Barry to let him know that they mean business. A rather fast and furious start to the new year. Here we have one of those shoes to drop, clearly emerging here as a front runner for the next leg down potentially, that if Grayscale were to be forced to sell some of their balance sheet assets to cover the Genesis creditors. Carl0x posted this just earlier, showing you how much the Grayscale holdings have in terms of percentage of market cap of each of these tokens, as these are potential ones that could be sold off in worst case scenario here. And as you can see, Grayscale hold a ton of crypto assets. I'm really not sure how this would actually occur legally due to the fact those are within a trust and are technically owned by the trustees, but you never know in crypto. We see some crazy damn things, but hopefully this would be worst case scenario and we don't have to see some mass liquidations here. Liquidation. So let me know your thoughts on this one down below. What does it mean, the fact that Cameron is actually coming here publicly and airing the dirty laundry live on Twitter with this open letter? It certainly seems to me that they are ready to lawyer up. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe to this channel and I will see you guys in the near future. Goodbye.